Hello and welcome back to the Little Big Sister podcast. I am your host, Eva Joelle, and for today's stories, they're all family dramas, from mothers with weird boyfriends to jealous brothers' girlfriends. We're in for a doozy, and we're in for 3 really good stories, to be completely honest. First and foremost, before we get started, please feel free to give the video a like, a comment, tell me what you think about these stories down below as we go along. Give it a like. It helps it in the algorithm if you enjoy these podcasts, or you even just simply enjoy this one episode. If you'd like to subscribe, that would be amazing. I'd love to welcome you to the family as my little sis. And if you'd like to follow me on my personal social media, you're more than welcome to. It is at Eva, EVA, JEWEL _ on TikTok and Instagram. I just be shit posted on there, so you get to know me a little bit better outside of reading Reddit stories. But let's get into these stories. The first story is titled, "Am I the Asshole for Stealing a Bottle of $700 Bourbon from My Brother-in-Law?" So, in my 29 female family, a few of us drink / collect bourbon. Mainly me, my brother-in-law, 33 male, and my dad, who is 60 male. Some bottles are extremely rare, expensive, and hard to find. So collectors will line up at stores to attend special events hoping to get one. Last Thanksgiving, a liquor store near my sister and brother-in-law were holding an event with a large number of rare bourbons. Everyone who arrived at 8 a.m. received a number, and the numbers were randomly called throughout the morning. When called, you could buy one of the available bottles at MSRP. I don't know what MSRP means. I honestly think it's just like at like retail cost, like not a discount at like whatever. Or no, I think MSRP means like at whatever the seller buys it for, you know? Like if Walmart buys it for $30 and then wants to make a profit by charging $40, MSRP is that you can buy it at $30 price point. Okay? Everyone would eventually be called, but earlier numbers had better choices. Okay, so it sounds like there was like a lineup of like really nice bourbons. My brother-in-law was especially excited because he had a huge bourbon collection, but has never been able to find a bottle of Pappy. This is kind of like a holy grail of bourbons that all collectors, myself included, would die to find a bottle of at this price. I was about 50-50 on going because I also collect bourbon and I would kill for a bottle of Pappy, but I had not only fully committed because it was Thanksgiving morning and we had a lot going on at home. Okay. At the last minute, my brother-in-law had to work Thanksgiving morning. He asked my sister, who does not care about bourbon, to go in his place and hopefully get the Pappy. She asked me to come so she would not have to attend this whole bourbon circus alone. Since I had already considered going and wanted a chance at a cool bottle for my collection, I went with her. We also invited my dad because he too would kill to get his own bottle of Pappy, but he thought the whole thing sounded weird and stayed home. My sister and I received the numbers 54 and 55. My number was called about 15 people in, and I bought a bottle of Pappy for around $100. It is nearly impossible to find it near us, and it usually sells for $700 plus. Okay, so I was right about the whole MSRP thing, where like it is whatever the seller bought it for before they add on their like retail price. That's insane that they can charge up to $600, but they bought it at $100. Like what? Okay, pause. What stops me from just getting like a liquor license? Like if I was one of these people where like I just like collected alcohol, I would just get a fucking liquor license. Like how hard is it to get a liquor license? And then I would just buy all the bottles that I wanted to drink at MSRP. Like it's so easy to get a business license. I can't imagine that getting a liquor license is any different. But that's just me. I'm thinking smart. I don't know. Maybe that takes the fun out of it. Maybe that's just my Capricorn in me taking the fun out of the situation. Because, look, I don't think it's that hard to get a liquor license, baby. And I got a clean record. They would give it to me quickly. Anyways, my sister was called much later after the Pappy was gone and settled for a bottle of E.H. Taylor, which is good but not nearly as rare or expensive. I was thrilled. This is literally the bottle of a lifetime I never thought I would get. However, when we got home, my brother-in-law immediately said, "That is my bourbon." He believes I went solely as his stand-in, so the Pappy should belong to him. He says I stole the bottle he would have gotten if he had been able to attend. I disagree. I went because I also drink and collect bourbon and wanted a bottle for myself. I never agreed to give him anything I bought. I knew my sister was there specifically for him, but I considered myself an independent participant who was also keeping her company. I would understand his argument if my sister had brought my mom, who could not care less about bourbon, and she happened to get the pappy. Then she would clearly have been there only as a stand-in, but that was not my situation. My brother-in-law still refers to it as his pappy and brings up Pappygate whenever possible. Labeling it Pappygate is hilarious. So Reddit. Am I the asshole? I genuinely did not realize he believed I was attending on his behalf. In his mind, I schemed him out of one bottle he has wanted for years to complete his collection. Disclaimer. This argument is mostly in good fun, and I love my sister and brother-in-law. I would just like to settle it so I can stop hearing about Pappygate. But when I open this bottle, it will 100% be with him present for first tasting. Okay, so, look, because you, in my opinion, because you also collect bourbon, I see both sides of this situation, okay? Because of the fact that, like, you weren't gonna go. You know, like, I get where the brother-in-law is coming from, where he's like, you were a stand-in, like, you didn't even really want it, because if you wanted it bad enough, you would have been willing to go whether or not he got called into work. But you had already given up the idea of getting the pappy because Thanksgiving morning and everything that was going on was more important than the bottle of pappy. So the fact that the only reason that you went to like the event that the pappy was being given at was because he got called into his work, and your sister didn't want to go alone. I understand the brother's reasoning. However, I do not fully agree with it. I don't think this pappy, because of that situation and because of how this was set up, where like you had already decided that you weren't going, I think this is a group bottle of pappy. Okay, I don't think anybody needs to like be claiming this. I think honestly it's already Thanksgiving, right? Like, everybody's already gonna eat, already gonna drink. Like, I think at this point, if he's home in time enough for Thanksgiving, then like pop open the pappy right then and there, drink it, and then if you guys want to get like another bottle at a different time to add to your like collection, because I know like bourbon and whiskey and like brown liquors apparently get better over time. I'm not really a drinker like that, so I wouldn't know, but I've heard on the streets in the past, not the streets, I don't be in the streets, but I've heard just in the past that like, you know, they get better with time. So I get why they may want to like keep it, but I would dub this as like a family bottle of pappy. Like, if the situation was different, the beginning situation where like you were gonna go whether or not your brother-in-law went, then I would deem that is your pappy, right? Like, if you were like, oh, from the start, I'm 100% going, like, let's go, brother-in-law, let's go get this bottle of bourbon, right? And then he got called into work and your sister stepped into place, then I think in that situation, it would be like, oh, that's your bottle of pappies. But because, you know, do you get what I'm saying? Like, because you were pulled in and you weren't actually going to go, I would deem this as like a group family bottle of pappies. Opie gave us an edit, and she said, edit. So many more replies than I thought possible. LOL. Tons of people are saying to just drink the bottle with brother-in-law and bury the hatchet. He actually doesn't drink bourbon. He just likes to collect it, although he'd try it if I opened my bottle. Finishing the bottle together and having a laugh would actually do any good, because he wanted the unopened bottle for the collection. For the people who are confused about the process, it is essentially a raffle. You get a random number, you're switching with people to have a lower or higher number. Oh, so switching with people to have a lower or higher number is irrelevant. They call the number and you get to buy one bottle at a lower cost. Finally, I thought that it was clear in the post, but no one seems to understand. The entire event was essentially who gets to win the pappy. Yes, there are other bourbons for later called numbers, but every single person was there for a chance to win the pappy. Being called and picking another bottle is actually inconceivable. LMFAO. Okay, I mean, now that I learned that, like, the brother doesn't drink pappy, that's your pappy. And let's, like, actually move on. Like, I don't know. For me, I don't think, like, I don't understand why you would be collecting alcohol if you weren't going to drink it. Like, to have, like, just to have it. Like, the same way that, like, people collect Pokemon cards and they don't actually, like, play the Pokemon cards. I mean, I don't know anyone that actually collects Pokemon cards that doesn't actually, like, play Pokemon. But I know that there are people that, like, collect Pokemon cards or collect, like, baseball cards and they don't actually play them. Or, you know, they collect cars and they don't actually drive the cars. Like, I get the whole, like, idea of the collection space. But I feel like with alcohol, it's like, collect it, you keep it for a while, let it get better, especially if it's, like, wine or alcohol or, like, whiskey or something that, like, ages with time. And then you drink it for, like, a situation. Like, you drink it for, like, a special situation or a special occasion. But since brother-in-law doesn't drink bourbon, what are we arguing about? Like, actually, what are we arguing about? Like, the top, like, liked comment on this is, not the asshole, you were there also as a collector of bourbon, not because you wanted to steal a very expensive bottle. Somebody then replied to that and said, he should be asking your sister since she went in his place, not you. The bourbon is yours, fair and square. He is just pissed because you got what he wanted. Somebody else also replied to the original comment that says, there is zero guarantee that he was going to even get the bottle if he had attended himself. Anyways, he has no place being disappointed in not winning the bourbon lottery. This makes no sense. Yeah, this entire thing, I think, since it is all in good fun, it's like, drink the bottle of bourbon together and move on. You know, it is what it is. And, like, get your own bottle of pappy, brother-in-law. Honestly, if me and my brother-in-law were arguing about something, about, like, collecting something, and I won it, I honestly probably would be petty enough to just keep it. Just so then he couldn't have it. But, like, that's just the annoying little sister-in-law in me that I, like, have my due diligence of doing. You know? I once didn't date a guy because I was like, you would get along with my sister's husband way too well, and I can't bring him that level of happiness. Now I look back and I'm like, that was stupid. There were other reasons I didn't date that guy, but that was one of, like, the main reasons. The other reasons came out later, and I was like, whew, thank goodness. I couldn't bring my brother-in-law happiness, but also you were a red flag. Anyways, let's move on to our next story. Our next story is titled, Am I the Asshole for Showing Up My Brother's Girlfriend? Showing up being put in parentheses, of course. By getting him a birthday gift he liked more and not warning her I was getting a big gift. First and foremost, I don't think that there's any way that this story could be that OP is in the wrong. Okay? Because I, as a sibling, okay, do not need to run it by my sister's husband a gift. Honestly, the only reason why I would run a gift by my sister's husband is if I thought that we would be in the same ballpark to get the same thing. But I do not need, I don't believe in this in any situation or any scenario, that at any point I need to run a gift that I'm going to give somebody by anyone to make the other person feel better. Like, if we're all giving gifts, especially if it's in, like, a group scenario, and we are all giving gifts, you better make sure your gift is better than mine. Like, I, of course, will read the room. Like, I'm not going to buy somebody a car. But, like, if it was, like, real simple and real easy, and it was something that, like, I could afford, that maybe was a little bit more expensive, and that's my friend, and I know that my friend has always wanted that. They've always wanted that bag. I'm going to get my friend the fucking bag. And I don't care if her man doesn't like that his gift was cheaper than mine. Baby, step up. Step up, because you should know my friend better than I know her. You will never, but, like, you can try, baby boy. Anyways, our matching bags came in the mail 2 days ago. Be better. Anyways, let's read the story. I, 25 female, have a twin brother, 25 male. Of course, you didn't need to put his age if y'all were twins. That would have been enough information. Growing up, our favorite pastime was building Legos together. Our family couldn't afford it often, so the sets we had were treasured, and we'd always buy bags of loose bricks from charity shops whenever we saw them. It was a major bonding time for us making things together, and my brother claims that those days of playing with Legos is what inspired him to go on and to become an architect. That's so sweet. It was our birthday on Friday, and we had a small thing with family. My boyfriend of 3 years, 27 male, was there, and so was my brother's girlfriend of 2 years, 24 female. During the gift exchange, we left each other's presents to last, as we always have, and opened our respective gifts. They were very nice and enjoyable, nothing to complain about on either side. When we exchanged gifts, however, it led to some laughs and a delight on both sides. I got him the, I do not know how to say that, Neustachwan Castle, Neuschwanstein, if you would like to type that out and figure out how to pronounce it to see what I'm talking about, or Google it. And he got me the Notre Dame Lego set. I'm guessing that those are both like European buildings. He clearly loved his gift and was going on about how excited he was to build it and how he'd be spending his next few days off work enjoying it or working on it. He showed a lot more enthusiasm for this than the watch his girlfriend got him, though he had clearly liked that too. Since then, his girlfriend has reached out to me insisting I tried to show her up deliberately by giving him a gift he'd like more, and how she's trying to treat him like an adult with her gift while I was encouraging him to be childish. She also thinks we somehow planned this gift exchange as we both got Legos for each other. I had to tell her no. It is just something we have. I lost my point. It is just something that we have always enjoyed together, and it's just natural we do it with gifts, and that she should have considered his interests and not worried about what seems appropriate for an adult. She then pivoted to the fact that she is his girlfriend and I should have warned her I was getting an expensive gift. Pointed out my brother didn't warn my boyfriend, but she insisted that doesn't matter, that I should have. Was I in the wrong for not giving her a warning, leading to her feeling shown up as a result? I have never felt the need to give a warning to whoever my brother dated, but maybe I should have. Okay. Look. There are so many red flags in this situation. So many red flags on that girlfriend, okay? They're not going to work out. I don't think they're going to work out. And if they do, there's going to be a lot of conversations and a lot of like figuring things out. Because if something as, first and foremost, you didn't even care enough you cared more about your opinion and how people see you guys and what you deem as appropriate, an adult gift for someone, than prioritizing what the person wanted. You know, like I will never be a fan of like, you need to give somebody what you think is appropriate, because I think that's just selfish. I think it's selfish, and I think it's entitled, and I think it is just like rude to the person that you're giving the gift to. Like, it doesn't matter how much money you spent or what you thought was appropriate. What matters is the fact that this gift is something that person is going to enjoy. Like, I don't understand what goes on in people's heads that make them think that not getting somebody a gift that they want is appropriate. Like, I think we read a story, like, maybe, like, 2 months ago or something, like, a while back, where the wife made the husband a different cake than he wanted for his birthday. Like, it was, like, he wanted, like, vanilla cake with chocolate on top. And she made like a full chocolate cake or something. Like, it was something weird where like she didn't make the exact cake that he wanted, and the husband was like, oh, like, thank you, like, oh, no, I remember what the story was. The story was that he wanted a specific store-bought cake. He wanted a specific like chocolate store-bought cake that he was like his favorite, that like he grew up eating, and that's what he wanted for his birthday. And instead of his wife going to buy what he asked her to buy, which was this store-bought cake, she went and tried to make that exact cake, right? And so she slaved hours and hours and hours over trying to make this exact cake. And so when she presented him the cake, he was like, oh my God, like, thank you. He like took a slice. He was like, it's not exactly like what I wanted. He ate maybe like a bite or two, and then he didn't finish the cake. He didn't finish his slice of cake, right? Because it wasn't what he wanted. And then his wife got mad and was like, I spent all this time, energy, and effort like making the cake, and you didn't even eat it. And trying to like guilt him in the fact that he should have eaten this like gigantic piece of cake when he didn't like the cake and it wasn't the cake that he asked for. And the thing about it was that I remember in that story, the husband wasn't rude about like the fact that she didn't get him the cake that she wanted. He was actually very nice and very respectful, and was just like, hey, like, you know, like, it's not, I don't mean anything by it. I just don't want this cake in this moment. Like, thank you so much. I appreciate all your hard work and effort. It doesn't go unnoticed. Like, this is such a sweet gesture. I remember, like, after they had this argument, he had the conversation with her about it, being like, you know, like, I appreciate it so much. It's just not what I wanted. And so no hard feelings. He wasn't mad at her and like nothing. He was just like, it's just not the cake that I wanted. But that's okay. I appreciate your hard work. Please enjoy the cake. Like, the husband was so reasonable in the situation. And the wife sat there and tried to like guilt him about it. And it was like, all of this could have been avoided if you would have just got him the cake that he wanted from the start. And so like, with these situations where it's like gift giving becomes very selfish for people, which I don't understand. Like, a gift should never be a selfish thought process of, this will make me feel validated that I put all this energy and effort into making this cake versus just getting you what you wanted. Or it'll make me feel better as a girlfriend because I got the better gift and I got you a watch and I did all these things. Like, a gift should be, what can I get this person to make this person happy? I don't have to understand it. Okay? I don't have to enjoy whatever I'm buying for you. I don't have to think it is appropriate. I am buying this gift to give the recipient, to make the recipient happy and to make them smile. And I don't understand people who don't view gift giving in that manner. Okay? Because I have bought ridiculous gifts. Okay? When I am in a relationship, there's one thing about me. I turn into one Susie Homemaker, and I love to spend money on a man. Not in like a trick fashion. I am not a trick in any way, shape, or form. But like, I love dating men who have like very niche, weird hobbies. Okay, don't you dare keep your weird niche hobby, okay, away from me. Okay, I want you to flip through your Pokemon book and show me every single Pokemon card that you have and all of your dream Pokemon cards. Because guess what? Now I'm gonna scroll through all of eBay to find that fucking Pokemon card, and best believe you're getting it for your birthday and for Christmas this year. Okay, I bought Yeezy shoes for a man. Don't ever buy a man shoes. Learn from my mistakes, because they will use those shoes to walk out of your life. I bought a man Yeezy shoes. This was back when like Yeezy was like first coming out, like 2017. This was like my first boyfriend at 19. I bought him Yeezy shoes and we broke up a week later, and then I ended up selling them for like double the price on eBay. It was great. I came up at the end of that because like at the end of it, he wasn't a horrible person. We just weren't right for each other. Anyways, yeah, whenever I find out that like my man has like a little niche interest, baby, I'm gonna buy shit for you. I'm gonna make you happy, and I don't have to understand it, okay? Because do I know how to play Pokemon? Absolutely not. Do I play like every single video game known to man? No, absolutely not. Can I play some of them? Yes. But if you want a specific game, I'll buy you the specific game. Okay, I'm not going to go out of my way to buy you a gift that I know you're not going to enjoy. I'm not going to go out of my way to buy you a pair of pants or a shirt or something that I don't know that you don't want. You tell me what you want. In fact, when it comes to gift, I would prefer you tell me what you want for me to just go out there and buy it. I'm going to lollygag and I'm going to play around in your face and be like, I did not get that for you. Like, no, but I got something better. Like, I'm going to do the old, like, you know, spin around so then you think I didn't get it for you. But best believe I got it for you and I can't wait to see you open it. Like, that's the type of person that I am. And so this girlfriend is just ridiculous to me. Like, the fact that all you had to do was know your boyfriend and know what he's interested in and give him a gift that he would like. But instead, you decided to be selfish and get him a watch because you felt that that was appropriate for somebody of his age. And so to me, that just tells me that, like, I don't think this relationship is going to last at all. And then on top of it, it's like she's insecure and you're fighting with quite literally his twin sister. Like, I don't know if you know how twins work, but that's quite literally the other half, his other half. Like, I know sometimes people say, like, oh, like, my significant other or my sibling is my other half. No. The way twins grow and the way that they split in the sack, baby, that literally is his other half. There's nobody on this earth that is going to know that man better than his twin sister. Okay? In fact, if you didn't know what to get him, you should have called her first to ask her, hey, I'm thinking about getting him this gift. Do you think he'd like it? Because guess what? She's going to know her brother and she's going to have his best interest in heart and she's going to be able to tell you yes or no on whether or not that watch was a good or bad idea. And she probably would have told you it was no. Okay? And then you guys could have talked about it. But instead, you're trying to make his sister feel bad because you are insecure about the gift that you bought him that you should not have got him from the fucking start. That was a selfish buy. And deep down inside, you know that. So, do I think OP in this situation is an asshole? Absolutely not. And I don't care what the comments say, actually. I hope the comments agree with me. But OP is not the asshole. Okay? The top comment on this post with 6,326 likes says, not the asshole. Her gift to you is a pair of huge red flags. Make time for a chat with your brother about what she said, for it is a very controlling way of behaving. And edit to add, thank you for the awards. I guess people gave them awards. And then somebody else commented to that comment and said, totally agree, especially since they are twins. I have a set of twins. That bond just hits different. This won't be the last time the girlfriend does something like this. Also, I'm in my 40s and I have a stack of to-be-built Legos. She can suck it. I love it. I think honestly, or maybe these are just the people that I surround myself with and the people that I watch like on social media and stuff. I think like these like little like childhood, and I say childhood with like parentheses around them, like gifts and toys and things that we like, whether they're Pokemon cards, Legos, are circling back around into popularity. And there are a lot of adults that build these things. Like, I literally was looking at Scooby-Doo Legos the other day, okay? Like, just so that I can build it and have a little trinket in my house. Like, trinkets are fun, and there's truly, like, no adult thing to do. And I honestly feel like when people start getting to that point of being like, this is an adult thing to do, you can't enjoy, like, childhood fun and childhood activities because it's not the adult thing to do, those people are miserable, okay? Don't ever let people let you lose your whimsy, okay? If you want to do community theater until you're 60, old and gray, and that's what you enjoy doing, because that's what you enjoyed doing when you were a kid, by all means. Like, I'm 28, and I'm getting back into dance, okay? I live in LA, okay? I have gone to all of my favorite dance studios. I've discovered new dance studios, okay? I've learned TikTok dances. And I'm having the absolute time of my life because I grew up dancing and I love it, and I have never felt better. And for the longest time, I thought, you know what? I need to get out of this performing arts space and like be an adult. And guess what? I was fucking miserable. And so I'm refinding my whimsy, and life has been so much more enjoyable. And so please, by all means, never let anyone steal your whimsy, whether that whimsy is dance, theater, music, your random hobbies, playing video games. Like, there's a healthy way to incorporate all of your whimsy as an adult, even as an adult with kids. Like, there's a way to do it. You just got to be diligent and, you know, planning, very planful and like organized about it. Another comment under this one says, wait till she finds out that there are people who literally make very good money building and designing for Lego. There are people who literally get paid to make the miniature versions of New York City historical landmarks, where special events, sometimes these are displayed in museums. I know the last time I went to the Chicago Science Museum, they had a whole miniature version of Chicago. I'm talking color coordinated bricks, working lights, trains, sounds, etc. Then when I went to the planetarium down the street, they had a light up moving version of the solar system. They even had a Lego version of the Milky Way that moved. Obviously, this is well before the actual Milky Way set. She can call it child is sure, but people get paid to build with Legos. 100%. Another comment that I do not want to leave hanging in the bounds is kind of a good idea of what I said, a good summary, but the girlfriend is making an issue where there is none. Jumping in to say that it sounds like the girlfriend doesn't support OP's brother's interests or hobbies. It also sounds like that she may not have told him this directly yet and is trying to go around him to get him to stop collecting Legos. For me, this is a huge red flag. Thank you. This is exactly what I said. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love that this comment is like feeling and thinking the same way that I'm thinking. They go on to say, for me, this is a huge red flag. It's fine if family members or a partner isn't into a hobby, but they should not be discouraging someone or otherwise raining on their parade over it. Thank you. The other telling thing is that she said that the Lego is childish. So it is pretty clear that she doesn't respect the hobby. For me, personally, this would be a deal breaker. 100%. OP should speak to her brother about what happened as soon as possible. Given that it has taken place already, I would be prepared for further retaliation from his girlfriend. Ultimately, it will be up to OP brothers if he stays with the girlfriend or not. OP is not an asshole, and the girlfriend is ridiculous. Thank you so much. I am so glad, so glad the internet agrees with me, because that's the one thing where it's like, when I say like keep your whimsy and keep your hobbies, 100%. Like, that's not a partner for you if they are not willing to support you, because I am a firm believer, and it took me a very long time to get to this point in life to realize that like my relationships are not who I am. You know, I am a whole individual with hobbies and goals and a life outside of my partner. And my partner, they come to me, we come together as two whole individuals, and we merge our lives together, right? Like, I didn't tend to date like gamer nerds, weirdly enough. I have a type. And my thing about it is that, like, lucky for them, I like watching video gameplay. You better be good, because I'm going to make fun of you if you're not. But I like watching gameplay. And so if you want to sit there and play video games at the end of the night for 2-3 hours, and I sit on the couch behind you and just watch your gameplay while I do whatever I want to do, whether it's I'm scrolling through TikTok, I'm watching Love Island on my iPad, like, we are coexisting in the same space together, doing our same hobbies. That is where like a good partnership like happened, you know. And if there are moments where I'm like, hey, I want you to like not play the video game and watch Love Island with me for the night, like, those arrangements could be made, but it's just communication. But like, at no point have I ever sat there and been like, gaming is childish, you gotta stop doing it. Like, that's a red flag. And why would I want to take the thing that like my partner enjoys so much doing, that brings like them so much happiness, away from them? Like, that's a red flag. And I do agree with that comment that said it was a deal breaker. But let's move on to our next story, our final story for this episode. More family drama, but this one is titled, "Am I the asshole for not letting my mother bring her partner to visit me?" If I don't like that man, yeah, he don't need to be around me either. I'm not calling him dad. I'm not calling him dad, mom. That's how I feel about my dad's girlfriends, because it's always a different one. I'm not the type of person to like play in your face and act like, oh, we're happy-go-lucky, we're family, we're all nice, until I actually like you. Like, we can be cordial, we can be in the same space, hey, what's up, hi. I'm not gonna walk in and like ignore you. We can be casual, but like, we're not gonna be besties. In fact, I can't stand his like little girlfriends. I say little girlfriends in the most disrespectful way possible too. His little girlfriends that like want to be besties like straight off the gate, because it's like, girl, you're trying too hard. You're trying too hard. The only one that I have ever liked Unfortunately, they're not together anymore. But the only one that I've ever liked, she didn't try. She was very respectful. She was just like, hey, like, you know, da 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 da. She would say something to me every blue moon, but she was like not all up in my face. And, you know, it took a while. It took a solid like year or two before I was like, you know what, I like her. I got her a Christmas gift this year, and then they broke up, and now I'm sad about it, but it's okay. Anyways, the story reads, I, 28 female, moved quite far away from my family, and I am always pushing my mom, 57 female, to visit me at least once instead of making me always make the trip. I feel that. Here's the catch though. My mom insists on bringing her partner, 56 male, along. He's not my biological father, saying it's not normal for couples to travel alone and that she would feel bad leaving him behind. I don't think it's unreasonable to expect my mother to visit me alone. After all, I want to spend time with her, show her the city I live in, my workplace, etc. Of course, I'm not talking about family holidays like Christmas or whatnot, just a normal week-long trip. For a bit of context, my mother and her partner got together and married when I was already an adult. He left my mom abruptly after 5 years of marriage during a tough period of our lives. 2 months after my maternal grandmother died, and I was getting ready to move out for my current job, leaving my mom all alone. They divorced and remained separated for 1.5 years and then got back together. I've never given my mother flack for forgiving him and maintaining a civil attitude towards him for my mom's sake, but I still don't have a good opinion of him. I don't know if I'm overreacting, but this subject always starts an argument between me and my mom. I don't want to have to host her partner so I can have my own mother visit me and show her my current life. So, am I the asshole? Okay, look. This is one of those situations where it's like, okay, if you want to forgive your shitty partner, leave me out of it. Okay? Let's take a pause on the story for a second. I think this is like one of those situations, like, if this was my friend, right? I'm going to put this into like my current perspective as like a 28-year-old girl. If I had a friend and she had a boyfriend, and I say this to everyone all the time, where it's like, yes, you confide in your friends. You should tell your friends when things are bad. If they're like really, really bad things, if they're like abuse, if it's physical abuse, emotional abuse, if it is financial abuse, like if it's any type of abuse, 100% you should tell your friends, and you should be able to know the difference between the two. But if it is just like a petty fight, there are some things in a relationship that like other people shouldn't know. And I think in this situation, it was unavoidable that the daughter wouldn't know because, you know, they got married and they got divorced, and then he did it at the worst time possible when like her grandma died and she had to move and her mom was all alone. Like, that to me is enough for my mom. Like, mom should not have gotten back together with this man, because when people leave you when you need them the most, that is who they are as a person, okay? And getting back together with that man is you're setting yourself up for disappointment again. If things get hard again, do you think he's gonna stay? Probably not. He's already showed you that he's not gonna stay at one of the most pivotal moments in your life. Like, it's so important who you choose to spend your life with and who you choose to like have as a life partner. And that's why it's like, as I've gotten older, I prioritize like having a life partner and having a person next to me that is a good person. Okay? Because you have to go through life together. You have to go through life as a partner, through sickness, through health. If you get sick, or if I get sick and I can't walk, are you gonna stay by my side to be able to help me? When our parents die, when our animals die, if our siblings go before us, if like even outside of death, if like we get hard financially, like if we go through like the hard times in life, it is so important who you marry, right? And although like I rag on like my sister's husband, at the end of the day, although he says a lot of stupid shit and he gets on my nerves, he is inherently an okay, good person. Okay? My sister had surgery. I'm not in the Bay Area to be able to help my sister. If she needed me to go back up to the Bay Area, I 100% would. But to see like my sister's husband of, I don't know how long they've been together, probably 10 plus years, my brother-in-law, take care of her, bathe her after having like surgery. She quite literally had multiple holes in her stomach. And for him to step up, take time off, help her, and just be like a great partner in that situation tells me that as much as he gets on my nerves, he's still a great guy in his pit of his heart and his soul. And I can say that because he's not going to listen to this all the way through. She's probably not going to listen to this all the way through either. It'll probably be a few years before they listen to this all the way through, and then they're going to be like, oh my God, you actually like me. Yeah, whatever. Don't let this go to your head if you listen to this. But he has been with her through like a lot of hard times, through, you know, my mother passing, through my sister getting surgery, through like so much stuff. And he's always stood by her side. And if it accounts for anything, it makes me realize that there are people out there in this world that will do that for you. And that is what's important when it comes to relationships. It's important to have a life partner, a person that loves, chooses you, and respects you through all of life's hard times, okay? And so the fact that you don't like your mother's new husband, I wouldn't even call him your father-in-law, because he seems like a shitty guy for leaving her when she needed him the most, is not wrong, okay? And although your mother does not see this and she doesn't want to be alone, although she has chosen to forgive him, you don't have to. Okay? You don't have to. And the conversation should be literally just that. Hey, I don't like that he did this. This is why I don't like it. Although you have chosen to forgive him, I have not chosen to forgive him. Okay? I want to spend time with my mother. I do not want to spend time with that man. I want you to come down so I can hang out with you and you alone. If I don't speak to that man for the rest of my life, I would be happy. I would be cordial with him. But frankly, the boundary that I'm setting is that I don't want him in my house. I don't want to have to show him around. I don't want him to be there. I want to spend quality time with my mother. And if your mother does not understand that and does not agree with that, you then get to choose with your boundary of whether or not you're like, okay, well then I'm not going to hang out with my mom. Or if you're willing to set the boundary down to let him come along so then you can hang out with your mother. But that is up to you and that is your prerogative. But do I think you're the asshole for not wanting him to come with her? Absolutely not. And I don't think the comments are going to disagree with me on that. And I say that as I say the top comment with 704 upvotes are nah, not the asshole. Your mom is allowed to want to visit. Your mom is allowed to want to visit with her partner. You're allowed to want one-on-one time with her and not want him to visit. Your mom might be an asshole, but there's not enough information here to know. Somebody else replied to that comment and said, tell your mom that you prefer to spend time with her only. A mother and daughter bonding, especially since you don't get to do that often since you live far away. Just be careful not to criticize her husband in any way. It might only make her feel defensive. I agree with that. I think I'm a little bit more direct. I don't like to say confrontational because I don't like confrontation, to be completely honest. But I am very honest, and maybe that is the Capricorn portion with me, where I would be like, hey, I don't like her. Like, I need you to understand where I'm coming from and the choices that I'm making. So I probably would tell, and I've told my dad these situations of why I don't like his girlfriends. And he has learned that, like, you know what, we agree to disagree, and he respects that. But I think the comments are right in this situation. You definitely just need to frame it as being like, I want one-on-one time, mother and daughter, bonding time with just you. And then I honestly would lie in the situation to be like, you know, maybe next time. You know, there's always going to be a next time. And then next time, just have the trip be like 2 days. Have the trip just be the weekend instead of it being like an entire week-long trip like you're going to have with your mom. But yeah, I think if it depends on how your mother reacts, only you know your mother. You know, be a little gentle with the delivery, more gentle than I am. I'm working on having a more gentle delivery with life and like conflict with people. But yes, I think the comments in this situation are more than correct, and that at the end of it, you are not the asshole, OP. And that brings us to the end of this week's episode of the Little Big Sister podcast. If you have made it this far and you enjoyed this episode, please give the video a thumbs up. Rate the podcast wherever you're listening to. Reminder that this podcast is available wherever you listen to podcasts. So if you would like to, instead of like watching it and listening to it on YouTube, listen to it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Chromecast or all of those different podcast platforms. You'd like to like listen to it while you're at work or while you're like driving to work or something, it's available there too. But give it a rate, give it a like, give a comment on what you think. It is very rare that like we get a entire episode of Am I the Asshole where none of the OPs are the asshole in the situation. Like nobody was an asshole, nobody was wrong in these situations, and you know, that feels good. I'm happy we get to end it on a good note. But thank you guys so much if you made it this far, for watching, for subscribing. Welcome to all the new viewers. I cannot wait until next week's episode. I'm working on video episodes so you guys get to see my beautiful face more. But you know, the editing process of those take a while. I don't like staring at myself for that long. But anyways, thank you guys so much. I will see you guys on next week's episode. Bye.